Well, Don from Dr. Smoke here, and today I'm going to do a video on vacuuming out my smoker. We got a party to get to, we got things to do, we got to vacuum out the smoker. We've ran a couple bags through this. Not really. This grill looks pretty new, but I got to get over here and vacuum this thing out. I got to vacuum this thing out.
Dad, the igniter!
What?
The igniter!
What do you mean the igniter?
The igniter!
Oh, Emma brings up a good point. What's this right here? This is metal, right? On the end of this vacuum. It's an actual ash vac. You know, some have plastic ends, but they're still pretty hard. And there's a really fragile material that a lot of customers, including myself, tend to do. We break igniters. And let me show you exactly the igniter in here. So check that out inside that smoker. See that rod there? It's down in there. And we all vacuum out our fire pots, right? We all vacuum out our fire pots. And we all break igniters. So this is more of a public service announcement about ceramic igniters. As we know, GMG has gone through a lot of different changes with igniters. They started off with the metal hot rods here. As you can see, this is metal, fairly indestructible with a vacuum. Did not see a lot of damage or warranty claims. So you've got your standard hot rod. These are going to be the slowest to heat up, slowest to react when a power is applied. But what happens to a metal igniter being out in the elements? Moisture. And that's exactly what happened to this one. Check that out. So this igniter, customer's Davy Crockett was maybe a couple years old. And actually it was about 5 years old. And he came to me saying, hey, my igniter's not working. We tested it. It was an open circuit. And as you can see, this thing's been through some abuse, but it did last 5 years. Again, not as reactive. So a couple years ago, GMG decided to change to a ceramic igniter. Great. They heat up fast, they use less energy. But what do ceramics do when kids are around and they're kicking balls around?
They break.
They break. Because they fall off, they hit a hardwood floor, and they're going to break. So GMG decided to implement the ceramic igniter. So here's one example. This is for actually a 115 volt unit, and this is a lot beefier. These don't break as much, but customers do break them, including myself. I've broken a couple with the vacuum being too aggressive in that firebox. So here we go. Ceramic igniter breaks, and what happens is when this heats up, a hot spot's created, and it'll burn the igniter out. Because now that part is exposed to air and gets hotter than the rest, and that's what burns the elements out inside of this igniter. Next, so that's for the 115 volt model, and the grill we sell the most of, funny when they ship it, look what they put around it. Foam. Foam is around this thing, and there's a reason for it, because it's fragile. So we're going to pull this off. See how little that igniter is? And that's exactly what is in that smoker behind us. You've got a small ceramic igniter, and there's a thin film heating element behind it. So again, this thing cracks, gets hit by the vacuum. You can see it's not going to take much. Speaking to GMG on the phone, and I'm sure other pellet grill manufacturers, a lot of times this burns out is because the customer hit it with the end of the vacuum. These two don't mix, these two things. So this is my public service announcement, brought to you in part by Dr. Smoke. When you're cleaning your smoker, make sure that when you're cleaning out that fire pot, be very careful around the igniter. Try to use a plastic tip. A lot of ash vacs come with metal tips because the nature of what they are. You know, they're meant to be vacuuming ash and possibly hot ashes from a fireplace or from a pellet smoker. Emma, you just saved the weekend. You just saved the weekend.
Yeah.
And one other thing, if this burns out, your weekend's not shot. And do you know why? Is because, just a reminder, on at least a GMG smoker, you can hot start the smoker. And what that means is I can come in here. A lot of times if the igniter's burned out, the pellets are going to be in here already in the fire pot. And we showed you earlier, pellets will be in the fire pot. We just get a torch, start it up, light it on fire until you get a decent fire in there. Then you power up the smoker, and we'll pretend that just lit up. And now once you power up the smoker, you hold that button again. And what that does is it immediately goes into control mode to where it thinks it ignited the fire. So, if your weekend you think is shot because your igniter's out, it's not. It takes a couple extra steps, but GMG's got you covered. And I'm sure other pellet grill manufacturers have the same capabilities. But from what I see, the ceramic igniters, if everyone's just a little careful with them, they don't break. So again, this is Don with Dr. Smoke. I'm hoping this informational video helps you. You know, please like, subscribe, make some suggestions. We're always looking to put new content out here about smokers. We've got some new stuff coming. I cannot say what it is. It does pertain to GMG, I think. But please, guys, like, subscribe. We do this for you. And personally, I'd like to thank you. Again, I know that this smoker isn't really dirty, and I know that I wasn't cleaning it for a party, but Em and I really wanted to make it interesting for you. So again, we appreciate it. Emma suggested that we show real quick, you know, when you're vacuuming this out, how to be careful and how to not hit it. This nozzle does happen to be a little bit smaller, but still very good chance of breaking it. So you want to get in here with the camera, Emma? So normally when I vacuum out the smoker, I'm coming in here to this side of it and the front. I'm really not going behind that at all. So you want to kind of come in here to the front, and it's really important that when you're cleaning this out with the vacuum is you get below the igniter, because you want that nice clean firebox so you get a nice clean burning fire. Again, don't forget you do have the vacuum port, which we strongly suggest to use. This ash vac isn't that powerful, but with a shop vac, it actually pulls everything out the bottom for you. So again, don't forget about your ash vac port. Sometimes I forget I have it. It's down here. And Emma's going to show you that. There's your ash vac port right there. That just opens up. And you can put your vacuum in to get it that way.